Once upon a time, there was a woodcarver called Geppetto, who had been gifted an enchanted piece of wood. Geppetto decided to carve it into a puppet and name it Pinocchio. But one day, to his surprise, the marionette came to life and began to speak. Geppetto had always wanted a son, and he was overjoyed. Geppetto was very poor, but he decided to sell his coat to buy a spelling book for Pinocchio and send him to school so that he could study with other children. The next day, on his way to school, Pinocchio saw a puppet theater. Intrigued, he decided to skip class to watch the show. The puppets came on stage, but when they saw Pinocchio and realized that he was just like them, they stopped the show to give him a warm welcome. The disruption angered the theater's owner, the fearsome fire eater. The man captured Pinocchio to punish him and threatened to make firewood out of the poor marionette. But Pinocchio began to cry, and Fire Eater took pity on him, freeing him and giving him 5 gold coins for his father Geppetto. On his way home, Pinocchio met the cat and the fox, who tricked him into following them to the Gambero Rosso Inn. The 2 rascals told the marionette that if he buried his coins in a place called the Field of Miracles, a tree full of gold coins would grow. But it was a lie. In fact, after saying goodbye to Pinocchio, the cat and the fox hid in the trees. They wanted to steal his gold coins. When he saw them, Pinocchio realized that they had tricked him. He tried to run away, but the 2 caught him. The puppet hid the coins in his mouth, and the cat and the fox hung him from a big oak tree all night. They hoped to scare him into giving them the gold coins. Pinocchio cried. The cat and the fox had left him there, and all hope seemed lost. But suddenly, a little turquoise-haired girl came to his aid and freed him, taking him home to nurse him. The little girl turned out to be a fairy, and she asked Pinocchio where he had put the coins. The marionette began to tell lies to hide his mischief, but with each lie, his nose grew longer and longer. Pinocchio then promised that from that moment on, he would behave well. The blue fairy fixed his nose and told him that if he was good, she would turn him into a real boy. But soon Pinocchio got into trouble again. He made friends with Candlewick, who convinced him to follow him to the land of toys. There, school did not exist, and life was one long holiday. After many days spent playing, the puppet began to turn into a donkey. He grew a long tail and funny ears. Such was the punishment for children who disobeyed their parents. Pinocchio then fled from the land of toys and was again saved by the blue fairy. She made the donkey's tail and ears disappear. Back home, Pinocchio discovered that Geppetto was searching for him at sea, worried about his disappearance. The marionette then jumped into the sea to look for him, but he was swallowed by a whale. Pinocchio was scared, but he found a surprise in the whale's belly. His father was there. The animal had eaten Geppetto too. At night, the whale slept with its mouth open, and the two decided to wait until it was asleep to escape together. Geppetto could not swim, but Pinocchio helped him to the shore, keeping him afloat. The Blue Fairy decided to turn Pinocchio into a real boy to reward his courage. Geppetto returned to being a woodcarver, and from that day on, Pinocchio always behaved like a good boy.